all doing well. Please excuse the fact that I look horrendous right now. Today I am leaving the house for the first time in almost 6 months. I've been shielding since the start of March. I've not left the house, and today I'm going out for an appointment. Feeling a little bit anxious, but trying to stay calm for now. It's a difficult thing because you just can't trust anybody. I can't take account for anybody's actions, where anybody's been, who they've been near, and what they could be carrying, and knowing the effect that that could have on my health is really scary, because a lot of people just aren't taking this seriously at all. And if you think it's a hoax, if you think it's just a government plan, whatever you think, that's fine. But think about other people who do know the risk and do know how serious this is. Like, you might be fine, it might not affect your life, but it could have a detrimental effect on mine. And it's just a lot of selfishness nowadays, which is really sad. Hopefully this goes well and it doesn't put me off going out again and trying to get back into normal and the swing of things and a normal routine. I really hope. So I feel like the Chewbacca shoulder strap probably warrants a little bit of an explanation. I drive a Nissan Juke, which is quite a big car for a small human, and the seatbelt always cut into my neck. So when I got my car, the first place we took a trip to was Halfords, and this was the only decent one they had. All the others were really firm and uncomfortable. This one looked soft. So even though I've never watched Star Wars and I'm definitely not a fan, we've got Chewbacca in the car. This was one of the things that I was really worried about when having to leave the house again, because from social media I've seen from an abundance of disabled people the issues with blue badge spaces being blocked off and just access issues. This car park only has 3 blue badge bays. One of them's really difficult to park in, especially if there are cars parked in the spaces around. You have the smallest turn-in circle. I'll show you in a minute. That's the one that I've had to squeeze myself into, because the other 2 are blocked off. One with a skip, and the other by these red plastic barriers. This is a medical centre. They have a range of treatments here, from chemo, physio, they have GP surgeries, chiropractic treatments. They have so many different treatments here. A lot of people will be poorly and will need access to these bays. And there's one. It's ridiculous. So just to show you what I mean, I'm parked in this space, so there are 2 opposite me, 2 normal bays, to this side of me, and then there's this space here. But when people were parked in there and in these 2 bays and next to me, it makes a very, very small turn-in circle. And like I said, there are 2 bays here. This is the best one for me to park in because it's right next to the curb. But one's got a skip and one's blocked off. Well done, Hans. I'm gonna be honest, anxiety is sky high right now. I feel so shaky. It's just that unknown. You can't account for anybody else's actions. You can't trust anybody. That's scary. That was better than I expected. Which she said the other people who've been shielding that came in and were anxious said the same thing. So, thankfully when I went in, I was the only person in there, apart from the person he was treating at the time. There was nobody else waiting, which was nice. And when I went in, he disinfected the table, he put gloves on, he put a mask on, he put an apron on, which made me feel a lot more reassured. And then I got onto the table and he started treating me, and that was maybe the only time I felt a little bit anxious, because it is so close. I mean, he's like practically chest to chest at sometimes, so that made me feel a little bit like, whew, okay, yeah, this happens. But afterwards he cleaned down the table, took his mask, apron, everything off, and yeah, I definitely felt reassured. It wasn't as bad or as scary as I was anticipating. So I've decided to book in 2 weeks' time, just because usually when it's been a break from treatment, whatever that may be, my body has a really hard time adjusting and kind of just coping with it and the changes it makes to my body. So I've decided to give it 2 weeks just to kind of see how I go. I dislocated my wrist this morning, so that is sore, but yeah, I'm gonna head home. One thing I forgot to mention is when I left, there were a lot more people in the waiting room. I mean, it was full, but everybody was social distancing and most of them were wearing a mask. Everybody I've seen get in or out of their car since I've been in the car park have also had masks, which it's just really nice to see that there are some good humans around. As we can see, I'm home. Excuse the cardboard. That probably warrants a little bit of an explanation. So the plan has always been for this wall to be a photo frame wall, as you can see the start of, but because I have so many frames and I wanted to cover the whole wall, it was a nightmare trying to work out a way, like a pattern I could get all the frames to fit and that I liked. So it was a nightmare sticking them up and then having to take them down. If I just penciled it in, I couldn't see anything, so I just cut them out of cardboard and blue tacked them up, and I haven't got around to actually putting the frames up yet, so excuse that. That will change at some point. But now I'm back. I did feel a lot more reassured on the fact that most people were wearing masks and stayed socially distanced helped. I think just from what I've seen online and what I've heard, I expected the majority to not be, and maybe that's the case, and just the few that I did see were the good ones, but that did make me feel a lot better. And the precautions that my chiropractor took also made me feel a lot better. They did actually text just now to say that they didn't want to take payment for my appointment today because they didn't want me to feel uncomfortable or like crowded, because there were so many people when I came out of the appointment. When I first went in, it was just me that was waiting, but when I came out, the waiting room was, I mean, as full as it can be with the distance markers and everything. So that was something I really appreciated. Even when I came out, I think there was only a couple of the people weren't wearing masks, but even so, everybody kind of stayed apart. And I don't know if they just took them off at that point and we're going to put them on when they went. You know, you never know. And obviously there are people that are exempt from wearing masks, and as a disabled person I get that, and I get not being judgmental, but at the same time I've seen so many people who just don't want to wear them because it infringes their human rights or they can't breathe. Sis, if I can breathe through a mask with dislocated ribs, I'm sure you're fine. But yeah, I feel reassured. the clinic are doing kind of everything they can to keep me safe and also make me feel safe as well. They've made sure that I'm booked in at really quiet times. The appointments before and after mine are both left clear, just to reduce the amount of people. They are taking all the precautions in cleaning everything. They have PPE that they're changing between each patient, and are doing it kind of while you're in the room, so you can kind of see it, and it definitely makes you feel a lot more reassured. So I do feel better about going there, at least. When it comes to going to a supermarket or anywhere else, I don't think that's something I'm going to be doing too soon. Car showrooms are probably got to be kind of the next thing on my list that I need to do, because my lease is actually up at the end of September, but Motability have been really amazing across the pandemic and have given customers the option to extend their lease for 6 months, which I am planning on doing, and that means I just have a little bit more time. It doesn't mean I have to wait till March and then order my new car. It just means I haven't really got a deadline that it has to be done by, which means if I feel ready in December, I can go and do it in December. I do know I've kind of got 2 options for cars that I'm looking at, but at this point, to make a further decision, it has to be a viewing and test drive kind of thing. So that is the next thing on the list. And again, I know they're taking all the precautions they can to keep everybody safe, but I think that's a step too far just yet. So we'll see how things go. But that was my first outing after lockdown, and it definitely went better than I expected, and I was very anxious, but the experience has reassured me for next time. So I hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!